Welcome everybody to HackCast episode 8. It's me and Ivo again. We're filming with some daylight this time, so we'll see how it goes.
Yeah, we might look better actually in the daylight, so
Yep.
we'll see.
This episode we're going to talk about PyCon Balkan. This was the first major Python conference in the Balkan area, which is like a pretty big deal because we're Python. We all use Python in HackSoft, and for something happening in the Balkans, we're pretty excited to be there. So this happened like a few weeks ago.
I think
like
2 or 3 weeks ago.
2 or 3 weeks
Yeah,
ago.
something like that.
Yeah, and we went with like 7 or 8 people, something like this,
Yeah.
from HackSoft. There was a pretty sizable HackSoft presence at PyCon Balkan, and what else? We were HackSoft was sponsoring the event.
Yeah.
We're co-sponsors, and we had 2 speakers. So we want to share our thoughts about PyCon Balkan.
Yep.
So where should we start?
From the beginning, I guess.
Yep.
We jumped in the cars, like
Yep.
4 or 5 hours of driving,
Yeah.
and we were in Belgrade.
So we're located in Bulgaria,
Yeah.
and Bulgaria is right next to Serbia. We have border with Serbia, and from Sofia to Belgrade. Belgrade is the capital of Serbia, and it was where the event was held. It's like 4 hours drive. There are some new highways in Serbia, and it's
really good.
really nice to drive to Belgrade. So no planes, which actually felt good. We had some interesting adventures with planes last time we were going to an event, to a Python related event. So yeah, we went to Belgrade. We were staying in some
Random hotel.
random hotels.
Yeah, it was good hotel.
Yeah, it was pretty good hotel. And the event was happening in the Hilton Hotel in the center of Belgrade. It was actually a new hotel. It was really, really good.
Yeah.
The venue was really nice. And it was Friday and the weekend. Yeah, we were driving on Thursday, and Friday was the Django Girls.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Something like this, and then the conference was for Friday and the next 2 days. So almost everyone from HackSoft that went to PyCon Balkan, they participate in Django Girls.
Yep.
Which was really nice. I guess we should kind of film their reactions and opinions about this, but I think everyone liked it.
For sure.
Yeah. For those who don't know, Django Girls is something similar to Rails Girls that's aimed to onboarding women to start their tech and coding careers. In Sofia, Rails Girls is really popular, and I think some people organize Django Girls once, but for PyCon, for the PyCon brand, I think they try to organize Django Girls every time there's a PyCon event, and this was PyCon Balkan,
Mm-hmm.
which was really nice.
I didn't know that. That's cool.
Yeah, I was talking with the organizers.
Mm-hmm.
The organizers are pretty cool of PyCon Balkan. They're the organizers of the Python meetups in Belgrade in Serbia, and they told me something like, we were thinking about naming it PyCon Serbia, but then we thought, why just Serbia? Let's bring the entire Balkan region and name it PyCon Balkan, which actually worked pretty well because if it was named PyCon Serbia, we might have not went there and sponsored and so on. Yeah, because then it's like quite isolated for Serbia. But when the name is PyCon Balkan, we are also from the Balkan region. Let's go there.
Yeah. So they said that the next PyCon Balkan is not going to be in Serbia.
Yeah. So the main idea of the event is to be in different Balkan country each year. And I'm not sure if they picked Croatia and Zagreb for next year, but I'm almost sure that this is going to be the next PyCon Balkan, which is good because this is like 4 more hours of driving, like 8 hours driving, or a bit less to go to Croatia, because Croatia is right next to Serbia, but we have to go through Serbia. So yeah, the idea was nice. The execution was nice.
This was a pretty awesome venue. I really liked the hotel, the building.
Mm-hmm.
It was like big enough and
Yeah.
it feels like something with style. It feels like a little bit expensive there.
Yeah, it's Hilton after all, and
Yeah.
as far as I understood, this was like a new Hilton hotel that
Yeah.
opened a few months before the conference, and it felt really good. The big hall was nice. The hallways that they were also nice. So it felt really good to be there and to walk around and to talk with people and to talk with sponsors and to listen to the talk. So good choice of venue.
Yeah.
Actually, and so there were like 4 keynotes,
Every day starts with a keynote, right?
except for the last day.
Yeah, there were keynote. There
There were two keynotes.
Yeah.
So the keynotes were really good. I enjoyed them. I really liked them.
Yeah.
The content was good. The speakers were good. They came prepared. They were entertaining, and they shared a lot of knowledge. My favorite one was from David Kramer from Century.
Yeah.
Yeah, he talked about something like duct taping in production or how to duct tape everything. It was really nice. I enjoyed listening to it, and perhaps the next keynote for me that was really good was Luca's keynote about chaos engineering and how everything can go really wrong in a software development process. Yeah.
Yeah, I've bookmarked all of the keynotes, so I can listen to them later again because they were pretty meaningful.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was taking some notes. I still have my notes open to and some actionable things to do after the conference. I guess I'll find time somewhere in December, I guess when Christmas comes. But yeah, keynotes were really good. Rest of the content, of course, we didn't listen to everything because we were engaging with the people outside of the main hall, with sponsors. There was Django Girls during the first day. But overall, I think the quality was good and the speaker pick was really good.
I can agree with that, yeah.
Yeah. So, what else?
That brings us to the second point. We had two speakers.
Oh yeah, we had two speakers from
HackSoft,
HackSoft, which was really nice.
Yeah, one of them is sitting next to me at the moment.
Yep.
That's Rado. And the other one is Ivo.
Ivo?
Yeah,
not
Ivo.
not this
Not
Ivo,
me, but the other
your
Ivo
one,
from
yeah.
the team.
Yeah.
He spoke about database queries, database optimization with Django.
Yeah, Django ORM optimization and some pretty cool stuff that you can do with the ORM, so you can optimize the query counts or the queries themselves. Yeah, it was good. I really liked Ivko's presentation because it was structured really well, and it helped me as someone sitting in the audience and listening and trying to follow his thought to actually understand where are we going and what do we want to achieve. So I really like the structure. Great talk. Every time I listen to Ivko talking about query optimization and the Django ORM, I learn something new that
For sure.
I never knew before. And I had a talk about Hack Bulgaria.
Yep.
Basically, it was a history talk about how we did our academy, what we learned, how we do our courses, especially Programming 101, and how HackSoft was born. I think it went okay. It was pretty calm lecture. Not a lot of energy on my side, but I think people were interested in it, and there were a lot of questions.
Yeah.
So we should talk about the questions.
Yes. So overall for your talk, I think it was pretty interesting for almost everyone because on the Balkans we need a lot of academies, we need a lot of companies that teach people how to program. So it is quite a relevant topic for PyCon Balkan.
Yeah, it is, and one of the key points is that at some point in the Balkans we should start teaching in English because. When we do this in Sofia, we're teaching in Bulgarian. When they do this in Belgrade, they're doing it in Serbian. And for someone, for example, from Western Europe or someone else that's outside of the Balkans, when you listen to people speaking in Bulgarian and in Serbian, it may sound like the same language, but it's
But
not
it's
at
not.
all. Yeah,
Yeah.
we barely understand each other. There are like few common words, and basically that's about it. But my thoughts are about the Slido integration.
Yes, yes. This is an idea that we are definitely stealing from.
Yep, for HackConf.
For HackConf, yeah. So the overall idea is that while the speaker is speaking, you can get your phone and ask a question in the app, and there is an upvote and downvote system for the questions. So the most relative questions came on top.
Yeah.
And after that, the speaker is answering the most interesting questions that are basically
Yeah,
on top.
yeah.
So this is, I think, a great idea.
It was really nice. I was really skeptical. So they had those screens, like one in front of the speaker and one pointed towards the audience, where when you write a question, there is a moderator. The moderator accepts or rejects the question, and if the moderator accepts the question goes to the screen. And I was really skeptical about this because for me it seems like a good idea to ask the question in person with a microphone, but it turned out to be really, really nice because first questions aggregated, and then you see the questions that people want to ask in advance, and then this may change your question that you want to ask, and this way you can ask more relevant questions and the speaker can answer them more relevantly. And then there is the voting. So if someone asks a question that the audience think is really important, they'll upvote it. It was great. It was really nice. So maybe we should not. So they were like running the questions during the talk. And sometimes the speaker can be like, "Oh, there are questions in the middle of my talk. I'll start answering them." Which may be
It's
like
a little bit
distraction.
distracting.
Yep. So perhaps something like when there are 10 minutes left for his talk, open up the screens and start showing questions. Something like this. But it was really nice. I think we should definitely do this for HackConf.
For sure we need the moderation over the questions. Just when people see public screens and they can write there something, they will start throwing a bunch of random things on the screens.
Yep. So a lot of trolls in Bulgaria. So
not only in Bulgaria.
Moderation is like a necessity for things like this. But it was a nice touch, and I really liked it. So we're definitely stealing this. Okay, what else about the conference that?
So we covered the Django girls, the speakers, the lecture hall was pretty big and pretty nice. There were about like 400 people on the event, like maybe more.
300, 400.
300, 400,
something like this.
Sponsors.
With the staff and the sponsors.
There were a couple sponsors. Were friendly, were nice.
I think there were like 5 companies with booths.
Yes, with booths.
And it felt like they could be more, because when you go to a PyCon that's not the big PyCon happening in Europe, there are like a lot of companies with booths there. So just like 4 or 5 here, it felt like there could be a lot more companies presenting and sponsoring. So this is one thing definitely that the organizer should think about for PyCon Balkan next year. But there were like companies located in Serbia, like Kiwi.com, Kiwi.com, I'm not sure how they pronounce it.
Kiwi maybe,
This was like a meta search engine for flights, something like this. They have a pretty big office in Belgrade, so they were like one of the major sponsors there. There were other companies again located in Belgrade, which was actually nice. Because you see local companies sponsoring the local Python event. Which was really, really, really nice.
And there were quite a lot of sponsors that are not actually there. Without the booth, just logos everywhere.
Just like us.
Just like us, So I think the sponsors were enough, and it's maybe the thing that the budget is good enough to have a pretty good hall, a pretty good food. By the way, the food was great. So we were in the Hilton's restaurant, and the food there. Actually, this is the best food that I have ever seen on a conference.
Same goes for me. Like no conference so far can match the food quality and the food taste that we had at PyCon Balkan. It was like Serbian cuisine. a lot of meat, a lot of side dishes,
Yeah.
but overall it was really, really good food. Even better than the food in Rimini.
Mhm,
We went
mhm.
to Europython there.
Europython, yeah.
We thought this was the best food there, but then again, in Serbia they really showed us what a
Yeah.
conference lunch should look like. But there was a downside.
And that's it.
Like the biggest downside of PyCon Balkan for me is
Mhm.
that they had lectures during the
Oh,
lunch break.
Yes.
Like
So there was no lunch break actually.
there was no.
There was not a break.
Yeah.
I mean, there are lectures during lunch,
Mhm.
and you have to choose: am I hungry enough to go for lunch, or
Yeah.
should I watch this lecture? So this is one of the biggest trade-offs for a food that is so good. I mean, they possibly can go with a pizza or a snack, something that you can grab and go to listen.
Yeah.
But this is the trade-off for having good hot food served in plates and
I'm not sure what the trade-off was, but they had this extended lunch starting from 12 o'clock at noon,
Mhm.
plus 3 hours to 3 p.m. And there were lectures running during the lunch break, and
Yeah.
you can imagine what happens in the lecture hall when there is a lunch break. Like everyone's downstairs eating, and there are like barely 20 to 30 people upstairs listening, and I guess it can feel discouraging if you're a speaker placed in that slot.
Yeah.
So like this was the biggest downside of the entire event. I guess it's just the circumstances of doing a conference in the hotel,
Yeah.
which cannot accommodate everyone. But I think not everyone showed up, and there was
sure.
like enough
Yeah.
space
Yeah.
to have a lunch break. So if you're organizing a conference, definitely leave at least a good 2 hours for a lunch break for people to what's the word for this, to stomach the food,
Yeah.
to drink coffee, to rest a bit, and then come back to the conference hall.
Yep.
So-
That is a note.
Yeah, so they said. What else do we want to discuss about the conference? Overall, it was really nice. For sure, we're going again to PyCon Balkan 2019. If it's in Zagreb, we're
Yep.
going to drive again. It was fun. Yeah, it was pretty fun drive to Belgrade with like 3 cars, I think.
Yep. What about the nightlife in Belgrade?
The nightlife. I'm not sure about the nightlife. We never went to a disco.
Yeah, we never went to a disco, but we spent a lot of time in the restaurants.
Yeah.
The food is awesome in
The
the
food
city.
is
Yeah.
the food is really great. So we were there like 4 nights, and we went to the same restaurant, not the same restaurant, but the same style of restaurant
Yeah.
each night, and ate Serbian food and drink rakia,
Yeah.
which was really good. But every night was like, whoa, this is like really great food, and
Let's order some more.
let's order some more, yeah. And we ate like the same thing for nights in a row,
Yeah.
and it was good.
Yeah.
So this is pretty interesting, by the way, because so Serbian food is meat with sides and some salads, but there's great variety. There are things that go really well with rakia, and the meat is good.
Yeah,
the meat is actually good. It's tasty.
Yeah.
And Bulgarian cuisine is basically the same, with few differences here and there.
Yeah.
But we don't go that often to Bulgarian pubs or restaurants here, which is strange. But when we went to Serbia, to Belgrade, we went like 4 nights in a row for Serbian food, and we really enjoyed it. Yeah, this is interesting observation. So really, we can really recommend going to Belgrade and just going to the restaurants and eating. It's really good.
Yep.
We loved it. What else? We didn't have much time to walk through Belgrade. We went to the central street.
Yeah, central part of Belgrade. Yeah.
And some park where the 2 rivers join. And that was it. The weather was cold.
Yeah, it
There
was really cold. We weren't
winds.
really prepared for such a
Yeah.
cold weather. So yeah, we didn't spend a lot of time walking through the city
Yeah,
because it was like around 0 degrees.
yeah, with the cold wind that
Yeah.
made it worse. So yeah, basically that's PyCon Balkan. Overall, we really liked it. The entire team enjoyed it. It was like a team building for all of us. We had 2 speakers. We were sponsoring. We were really happy to sponsor this, and it felt like a great thing that's happening in the Balkan area, because in the Balkan area, you have pretty good companies that do different kinds of products or programming or whatever you can imagine, and it's good to have more conferences here in the Balkan area that are open to people from outside the Balkan area, meaning speaking in English, having foreign speakers coming here, and this should be something that we all do.
Yep.
Yeah.
So are we going to the next PyCon Balkan?
Sure. Yeah.
For sure. Are we sponsoring it?
Yeah.
For sure. So yeah, PyCon Balkan for me is a great thing to have on the Balkans.
Yep.
And I guess we are going on every PyCon Balkan in the future.
Yeah.
Maybe we are going to host one in Sofia at some point.
We'll see.
We'll see.
Yeah.
But it is a great adventure, I think.
Yeah, it is. And kudos to the organizers for their effort. It was like a lot of effort,
Yeah.
and this made the conference great. So that's about it.
Yep.
For the 8th episode of HackCast. There are pretty interesting things that are happening at HackSoft right now. We're closing the year. We're making plans for next year. So we'll have pretty interesting content around more software development, more how we do our sales, how we find new clients,
Yep.
how we grow our people. So we're preparing interesting episodes, and we'll see you in a week or 2, I guess.
For sure.
For sure. That's it. Bye.
Bye.